Welcome to the 128 Civics Questions and Answers. The 2025 version, Question 1. What is the form of government of the United States? Answer. The United States has a republic, a constitution-based federal republic, and a representative democracy. Question 2. What is the supreme law of the land? Answer. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Question 3. Name one thing the U.S. Constitution does. Answer. It forms the government, defines the powers and parts of government, and protects the rights of the people. Question 4. The U.S. Constitution starts with the words, "We, the people." What does "we, the people" mean? Answer. It means self-government, popular sovereignty, and consent of the governed. It reflects the idea that people should govern themselves. Question 5. How are changes made to the U.S. Constitution? Answer. Changes are made through amendments and the amendment process. Question 6. What does the Bill of Rights protect? Answer. It protects the basic rights of Americans and of people living in the United States. Question 7. How many amendments does the U.S. Constitution have? Answer. The Constitution has 27 amendments. Question 8. Why is the Declaration of Independence important? Answer. It says America is free from British control, that all people are created equal, and it identifies inherent rights and individual freedoms. Question 9. What founding document said the American colonies were free from Britain? Answer. The Declaration of Independence. Question 10. Name two important ideas from the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. Answer. Two important ideas are equality and liberty. Other ideas include the social contract, natural rights, limited government, and self-government. Question 11. The words life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are in what founding document? Answer. They are in the Declaration of Independence. Question 12. What is the economic system of the United States? Answer. The United States has a capitalist economy, also known as a free market economy. Question 13. What is the rule of law? Answer. The rule of law means everyone must follow the law. Leaders and government officials must obey the law, and no one is above the law. Question 14. Many documents influenced the U.S. Constitution. Name one. Answer. One example is the Declaration of Independence. Others include the Articles of Confederation, the Federalist Papers, and the Virginia Declaration of Rights. Question 15. There are three branches of government. Why? Answer. To prevent any one part from becoming too powerful. This system is called checks and balances and is based on the separation of powers. Question 16. Name the three branches of government. Answer. The legislative, executive, and judicial branches. Question 17. The President of the United States is in charge of which branch of government? Answer. The executive branch. Question 18. What part of the federal government writes laws? Answer. Congress, also known as the legislative branch. Question 19. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress? Answer. The Senate and the House of Representatives. Question 20. Name one power of the U.S. Congress. Answer. Congress writes laws, declares war, and makes the federal budget. Question 21. How many U.S. senators are there? Answer. There are 100 U.S. senators. Question 22. How long is a term for a U.S. senator? Answer. A term for a U.S. senator is 6 years. Question 23. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? Answer. Answers will vary depending on your state. Question 24. How many voting members are in the House of Representatives? Answer. There are 435 voting members. Question 25. How long is a term for a member of the House of Representatives? Answer. A term is 2 years. Question 26. Why do U.S. representatives serve shorter terms than U.S. senators? Answer. To more closely follow public opinion. Question 27. How many senators does each state have? Answer. Each state has 2 senators. Question 28. Why does each state have 2 senators? Answer. To ensure equal representation for small states. This was part of the Great Compromise. Question 29. Name your U.S. representative. Answers will vary depending on your congressional district. Question 30. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? Answer. Please visit uscis.gov/citizenship/test updates for the current speaker's name. Question 31. Who does a U.S. Senator represent? Answer. A U.S. Senator represents the people of their state. Question 32. Who elects U.S. Senators? Answer. Citizens from their state. Question 33. Who does a member of the House of Representatives represent? Answer. They represent the people in their congressional district. Question 34. Who elects members of the House of Representatives? Answer. Citizens from their congressional district. Question 35. Some states have more representatives than other states. Why? Because of the state's population. States with more people have more representatives. Question 36. The President of the United States is elected for how many years? Answer. 4 years. Question 37. The President of the United States can serve only 2 terms. Why? Answer. Because of the 22nd Amendment. It helps prevent the President from becoming too powerful. Question 38. What is the name of the President of the United States now? Answer. Please visit uscis.gov/citizenship/test updates for the current president's name. Question 39. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? Answer. Please visit uscis.gov/citizenship/test updates for the current Vice President's name. Question 40. If the President can no longer serve, who becomes President? Answer. The Vice President of the United States. Question 41. Name one power of the President. Answer. The President signs bills into law, vetoes bills, enforces laws, serves as Commander-in-Chief of the military, acts as Chief Diplomat, and appoints federal judges. Question 42. Who is Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. military? Answer. The President of the United States. Question 43. Who signs bills to become laws? Answer. The President of the United States. Question 44. Who vetoes bills? Answer. The President of the United States. Question 45. Who appoints federal judges? Answer. The President of the United States. Question 46. The executive branch has many parts. Name one. Answer. One part of the executive branch is the President. Others include the Cabinet and federal departments and agencies. Question 47. What does the President's Cabinet do? Answer. It advises the President of the United States. Question 48. What are 2 cabinet-level positions? Answer. Examples include the Attorney General and the Secretary of State. Other positions include the Secretary of Education, Secretary of Defense, and Vice President. Question 49. Why is the Electoral College important? Answer. It decides who is elected president and provides a compromise between the popular vote and congressional selection. Question 50. What is one part of the judicial branch? Answer. The Supreme Court is one part. Another is the federal courts. Question 51. What does the judicial branch do? Answer. It reviews laws, explains laws, resolves disputes, and decides if a law goes against the Constitution. Question 52. What is the highest court in the United States? Answer. The Supreme Court. Question 53. How many seats are on the Supreme Court? Answer. There are 9 seats. Question 54. How many Supreme Court justices are usually needed to decide a case? Answer. 5 justices are usually needed. Question 55. How long do Supreme Court justices serve? Answer. They serve for life until retirement or until they resign. Question 56. Supreme Court justices serve for life. Why? Answer. To be independent of politics and to limit outside influence. Question 57. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? Answer. Please visit uscis.gov/citizenship/test updates for the current Chief Justice's name. Question 58. Name one power that is only for the federal government. Answer. The federal government can print paper money, mint coins, declare war, create an army, make treaties, and set foreign policy. Question 59. Name one power that is only for the states. Answer. States can provide schooling and education, protection through police, safety through fire departments, give driver's licenses, and approve zoning and land use. Question 60. What is the purpose of the 10th Amendment? Answer. It states that powers not given to the federal government belong to the states or to the people. Question 61. Who is the governor of your state now? Answer. Answers will vary depending on your state. District of Columbia residents should answer that D.C. does not have a governor. Question 62. What is the capital of your state? Answer. Answers will vary depending on your state or territory. District of Columbia residents should answer that D.C. is not a state and does not have a capital. Question 63. There are 4 amendments to the U.S. Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. Answer. One amendment says citizens 18 and older can vote. Another says you don't have to pay a poll tax to vote. Another says any citizen can vote, including women and men. Another says a male citizen of any race can vote. Question 64. Who can vote in federal elections, run for federal office, and serve on a jury in the United States? Answer. Citizens of the United States. Question 65. What are 3 rights of everyone living in the United States? Answer. Freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and freedom of assembly. Others include freedom to petition the government, freedom of religion, and the right to bear arms. Question 66. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? Answer. We show loyalty to the United States and to the flag. Question 67. Name 2 promises that new citizens make in the Oath of Allegiance. Answer. New citizens promise to give up loyalty to other countries and to defend the U.S. Constitution. They also promise to obey U.S. laws, serve in the military if needed, help the nation if needed, and be loyal to the United States. Question 68. How can people become United States citizens? Answer. People can become citizens by being born in the United States, by naturalizing, or by deriving citizenship under conditions set by Congress. Question 69. What are 2 examples of civic participation in the United States? Answer. Voting and running for office. Other examples include joining a political party, helping with a campaign, joining a civic or community group, contacting elected officials, and writing to a newspaper. Question 70. What is one way Americans can serve their country? Answer. Americans can serve by voting, paying taxes, obeying the law, serving in the military, running for office, or working for the government. Question 71. Why is it important to pay federal taxes? Answer. It's required by law, it funds the federal government, and it's a civic duty. It's also required by the Constitution through the 16th Amendment. Question 72. It is important for all men age 18 through 25 to register for the Selective Service. Name one reason why. Answer. It's required by law, it's a civic duty, and it makes the draft fair if needed. Question 73. The colonists came to America for many reasons. Name one. Answer. They came for freedom, political liberty, religious freedom, economic opportunity, and to escape persecution. Question 74. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? Answer: American Indians or Native Americans. Question 75. What group of people was taken and sold as slaves? Answer: Africans or people from Africa. Question 76. What war did the Americans fight to win independence from Britain? Answer: The American Revolution, also called the Revolutionary War or the War for Independence. Question 77. Name one reason why the Americans declared independence from Britain. Answer: High taxes, taxation without representation, British soldiers staying in Americans' houses, lack of self-government, the Boston Massacre, the Boston Tea Party, and acts like the Stamp Act and the Intolerable Acts. Question 78. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Answer: Thomas Jefferson. Question 79. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? Answer: July 4th, 1776. Question 80. The American Revolution had many important events. Name one. Answer: the Battle of Bunker Hill, the Declaration of Independence, Washington crossing the Delaware, the Battle of Saratoga, Valley Forge, and the Battle of Yorktown. Question 81. There were 13 original states. Name 5. Answer: New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Question 82. What founding document was written in 1787? Answer: the U.S. Constitution. Question 83. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers. Answer: James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, or Publius. Question 84. Why were the Federalist Papers important? Answer: they helped people understand and support the U.S. Constitution. Question 85. Benjamin Franklin is famous for many things. Name one. Answer: he founded the first free public libraries, was the first postmaster general, helped write the Declaration of Independence, was an inventor, and served as a U.S. diplomat. Question 86. George Washington is famous for many things. Name one. Answer: he was the father of our country, the first president of the United States, general of the Continental Army, and president of the Constitutional Convention. Question 87. Thomas Jefferson is famous for many things. Name one. Answer: he wrote the Declaration of Independence, was the third president, doubled the size of the U.S. with the Louisiana Purchase, and founded the University of Virginia. Question 88. James Madison is famous for many things. Name one. Answer: he was the father of the Constitution, the fourth president during the War of 1812, and one of the writers of the Federalist Papers. Question 89. Alexander Hamilton is famous for many things. Name one. Answer: he was the first Secretary of the Treasury, helped establish the first Bank of the United States, and was one of the writers of the Federalist Papers. Question 90. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? Answer: the Louisiana Territory. Question 91. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. Answer: the War of 1812. The Mexican-American War, the Civil War, and the Spanish-American War. Question 92. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. Answer: the Civil War. Question 93. The Civil War had many important events. Name one. Answer: the Battle of Fort Sumter, the Emancipation Proclamation, the Battle of Gettysburg, and the surrender at Appomattox. Question 94. Abraham Lincoln is famous for many things. Name one. Answer: he freed the slaves, saved the Union, led the country during the Civil War, and delivered the Gettysburg Address. Question 95. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? Answer: it freed the slaves in the Confederacy and in most southern states. Question 96. What U.S. war ended slavery? Answer: the Civil War. Question 97. What amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States are U.S. citizens? Answer: the 14th Amendment. Question 98. When did all men get the right to vote? Answer: after the Civil War, during Reconstruction, with the 15th Amendment in 1870. Question 99. Name one leader of the women's rights movement in the 1800s. Answer: Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Lucretia Mott, or Lucy Stone? Question 100. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. Answer: World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Persian Gulf War. Question 101. Why did the United States enter World War I? Answer: Because Germany attacked U.S. ships and to support the Allied powers. Question 102. When did all women get the right to vote? Answer: In 1920, after World War I, with the 19th Amendment. Question 103. What was the Great Depression? Answer: It was the longest economic recession in modern history. Question 104. When did the Great Depression start? Answer: The Great Depression started in 1929 with the stock market crash, also known as the Great Crash. Question 105. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? Answer: Franklin Roosevelt was president during both the Great Depression and World War II. Question 106. Why did the United States enter World War II? Answer: Because Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. The U.S. entered the war to support the Allied powers and oppose the Axis powers. Question 107. Dwight Eisenhower is famous for many things. Name one. Answer: He was a general during World War II, the 34th President of the United States, and signed the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956, which created the interstate system. Question 108. Who was the United States' main rival during the Cold War? Answer: The Soviet Union, also known as the USSR or Russia. Question 109. During the Cold War, what was one main concern of the United States? Answer: One main concern was communism, another was nuclear war. Question 110. Why did the United States enter the Korean War? Answer: To stop the spread of communism. Question 111. Why did the United States enter the Vietnam War? Answer: To stop the spread of communism. Question 112. What did the Civil Rights Movement do? Answer: It fought to end racial discrimination. Question 113. Martin Luther King, Jr., is famous for many things. Name one. Answer: He fought for civil rights and worked for equality for all Americans. He is known for saying that people should be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Question 114. Why did the United States enter the Persian Gulf War? Answer: To force the Iraqi military out of Kuwait. Question 115. What major event happened on September 11, 2001 in the United States? Answer: Terrorists attacked the United States. They hijacked planes and crashed them into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a field in Pennsylvania. Question 116. Name one U.S. military conflict after the September 11, 2001 attacks. Answer: The war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, and the global war on terror. Question 117. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States. Answer: Examples include the Cherokee, Navajo, Sioux, Chippewa, and Apache. There are many others. Question 118. Name one example of an American innovation. Answer: Examples include the light bulb, the automobile, the airplane, skyscrapers, the assembly line, landing on the moon, and the integrated circuit. Question 119. What is the capital of the United States? Answer: Washington, D.C. Question 120. Where is the Statue of Liberty? Answer: It is in New York Harbor on Liberty Island. It's also near New Jersey and on the Hudson River. Question 121. Why does the flag have 13 stripes? Answer: Because there were 13 original colonies. The stripes represent those colonies. Question 122. Why does the flag have 50 stars? Answer: Because there are 50 states. Each star represents one state. Question 123. What is the name of the national anthem? Answer: The Star-Spangled Banner. Question 124. The nation's first motto was E pluribus unum. What does that mean? Answer: It means out of many, one. It reflects unity among diversity. Question 125. What is Independence Day? Answer. It's a holiday to celebrate U.S. independence from Britain. It's also considered the country's birthday. Question 126. Name 3 national U.S. holidays. Answer. Examples include Independence Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. Others are New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, Juneteenth, Labor Day, Columbus Day, and Veterans Day. Question 127. What is Memorial Day? Answer. It's a holiday to honor soldiers who died in military service. Question 128. What is Veterans Day? Answer. It's a holiday to honor people who have served in the U.S. military. Good luck on the test.